Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to show you how I made these leaves back here on this card. I made this card for my parents for Thanksgiving. It says we never know the love of a parent until we become one. And I wanted to show you how I made these leaves. And the technique is called baby wipes. So let's get started. You just take a styrofoam plate, put a couple baby wipes. I make sure that I fold the baby wipes in on the top one so there aren't any lines. And then you're going to use your reinkers. I have Autumn Terracotta, Gold Rush, and Barn Red. You take your darkest color first, which is going to be Barn Red, and you just drop some ink on the baby wipe until you say, okay, that's enough. Take the shade that's lighter, so that's my Autumn Terracotta, not shade, but I would say color, and then fill in there. And then you take your least dark color or your lightest color, Gold Rush, and fill in from there. Again, you just use your drops until you're happy with what you have. So then you need a solid image stamp, so I'm going to use this leaf, and it is from Nature's Vein, close to my heart. And you ink your stamp pad, or just like a stamp pad, you ink your leaf up. I'm going to set that to the side so you can see the card. And then you take your card and stamp. And it has that image or different multicolored look. It is so cool. I have never tried this technique. I kept thinking, oh, I want to try it. And I never did. And I'm so glad because I just love this. Then you just random stamp your card, like so. And every time you do this, it's going to be a little bit different because your reinkers are going to spot differently on your card. Do a couple more. So that's how I did the base. And then I want to show you how I did the edge of the card. So because it was white, I don't like to, if you know me very well, I don't like to leave white edges. And on this card you can see I filled it in with colors. So I just took a sponge. I get a pack of these at the dollar store. I don't know how many sponges you get in there, probably about 10. I always just snip a piece off. Then I took Buttercup ink and just sponge that all around the leaves. And since it's so light, it's not going to really affect too much your image because it is a light color. So you're going to want to choose a light color. And that'll fill in all that white space. And then I wanted the edges to be even darker. So I just took my Buttercup and made sure I rubbed the edges. Kind of went in a little bit on the edges on the Buttercup. And rub that around. And then I took a little bit darker color, which was Honey. And I can use the same sponge because you can use a different sponge and keep sponges for different colors, but since they're so inexpensive, I just use the same sponge and pounce on that and then do the edges, and it'll be a little darker. And then I took chocolate for the very edge of it because my sentiment was stamped in chocolate, and use the same sponge and just do the edges, just not quite as far in, but just so you edge the card in that chocolate. There you go. So that is the base of my card here. I'm not going to show you how I made the whole entire card. I'll have the directions or recipe on my blog. But I wanted to show you some more different colors you can use for the baby wipe technique. So I'm just going to get a new plate, and I'm going to use some Holiday Red. Oops. Boy, that one's really juicy. Holiday Red. And then I'm going to use some Hollyhock. You can see, whoa, that was a little bit much. I squeezed too hard, sorry. And then I have some bubble gum. So I don't have to squeeze very hard on my Hollyhock, I see that. Fill it in with bubble gum. And then I'm going to stamp a heart image for you. And you'll kind of see, like for Valentine's Day coming up, how that would look. So I'll move my plate. Again, you just stamp your image up in your, and then stamp your heart. And it's multicolored. Pretty cool. There's another one. You can use this same idea I thought of for Easter. You know how we have multicolored Easter eggs? Well, I'm going to use the same color combo. Just ink up my Easter stamp and stamp my egg. And that's probably a little bit darker maybe than I might want to do one with more pink in it. Let me flip it over and do another one. And then you have a multicolored egg. I wanted to do a couple more. I bring this back in. This is my plate that I used for my leaves. And I know that pumpkins are really big at this time of the year. So let's try to pumpkin stamp with this technique. I'm using that same ink that I used for my leaves. Just going to take a solid pumpkin. And that's how that looks. That's pretty cool. And then I have another one that I wanted to try. And that one is, oh, let me see it here. Oh, a bear. He's not entirely solid, so I'm going to use bamboo cardstock. I'm going to ink him up in that same ink that I used for my leaf. I just kind of wanted to see how this would be if it wasn't a solid stamp, if I could talk. Let's see how he's going to be. Because sometimes bears are multicolored. Oh, I didn't stamp hard enough over there. Let's try it again. Here we go. Try it one more time. And he turns out multicolored. That's pretty cool too. I don't know. There you go. Now you can see that. So you can do a lot of different things with the baby wipe techniques. A lot of different color combinations. So I would love to see what you do if you want to send it to me. And happy stamping!